Welcome to the last Friday video of the year. Wow. I hope lighting is okay. It is quite late Thursday, actually, and then I remembered there's a Friday video. And I worked both today and tomorrow. So this is the best time. And I am gloriously fuzzy in one of my Christmas presents this year, which is this fantastic purple house coat that I shouldn't be wearing when I'm actually doing a video. Now I'm sitting on it. Give me a second. There, okay. Professionalism. Yeah, so fuzzy house coat. Christmas was good. As you can see, my desk is an absolute mess, including this fantastic Harry Potter box, which is full of the remains of your Christmas present reach, because I eat most of the food. What can you do? So I've got to figure out where the stuff is going to go. Some stuff just might have to go away until I'm in my own apartment, like these fantastic Harry Potter coasters. But this book should also be out. Good morning, good night. And then Mom Miranda. Onto the stack. The many large stack, which I'm impressed to say only grew by one book this Christmas season. And I'm working on it. I am. So, needless to say, before the new year, I'm gonna have to clean my desk. Oh yay! Okay. So this video isn't a vlog. It's not supposed to be a vlog. It is in fact supposed to be a year in review. How is it already? How is it already 2018? End of 2018. How is it already almost 2019? I don't know. And this video probably won't go as smoothly as I was hoping it would, because I rewatched the first video I made for 2018, and it turns out I'm really terrible at keeping plans. Don't get me wrong, some things definitely got done. I think the big one is Book and Page, in which this year we did the entire first season, which blew me away, and then we've started season 2, which all of that that's part of the mess on the table right now. So we're gonna finish season 2 in the new year. So that I'm really proud of. Keeping up relatively well with the Sunday and Wednesday upload schedule. So like, I'm really proud of that. I'm really proud of that. Some other things didn't work quite the way I was hoping they would. Like, I never ended up doing driver's ed. I currently don't have my G2, but I did end up learning how to drive, and I actively drive far more than I thought I ever would, which is really cool. Like, really cool. And actually, like, a lot of things went well this year. Some of them certainly had their hiccups, but I think things are going well, or I think I'm growing up to the point where I can handle when things don't go well, at least after some time to process what's happened. Like, the big thing that happened this year is I have in fact successfully finished my thesis and defended it. I won't graduate technically until next year, and I'm going to attend my convocation next year in June. But I defended my thesis this year. And that's really big because I was aiming to defend it this year, but I was aiming to do it far earlier than I did. I did it towards the end of November, and I was hoping to do it in April and graduate in this past June's convocation, and that didn't work out. My external said no to the defense, and I had to edit things. And that really did hurt originally, but I think the changes were really necessary, and I think they made a stronger thesis. So then going into the defense and successfully defending the thesis and getting really positive feedback from everybody, including that external, shows that even when things don't work out, I can bounce back from them. And same with driving. I have been really anxious about this. And while I didn't do driver's ed, I'm learning. I am. And with my work, I've gotten a lot less anxious about a lot of other things too. So I started work back in May with a tourism company in my city as a walking tour guide. And I was expecting this just to be a summer job, but then they took me into the store, which stays open in the winter. So I've effectively found, it's only part-time, but it's a job that's not just seasonal, that I really like my coworkers, I really like my boss, and I jokingly spoke to her about upcoming plans, saying that hopefully I had a job in the future, and she said, well, no duh, like, yeah. And I said, well, you don't want to assume, maybe you secretly hate me, and she goes, no, you would know if I hated you, which was just a confidence boost for me to say that no matter how next steps go in schooling, I can just work a little while longer. And I can figure it out from there. And the boss of the walking tour section apparently still likes me for it because I'm doing walking tours for the winter section, which is going to finish up like January 6th. But it's still something. Like I did a walking tour today. It was very cold, but I did a walking tour today. And so I'm hoping as we get back into the next sort of tourism season in upcoming May, I can balance between the store and doing some more walking tours. And that's nice. And during the tours, I had to deal with a lot. And I actually started overcoming my anxiety about being out on the water on one of the boats. And it turns out that giving the tour on the boat was one of my favorite ones to do. And I wouldn't have known that about myself if I had just stayed so scared to not even bother trying. Like, I'm very proud of myself for having gone to my boss and said, I want to try and do that tour. And that's what happened with driving. And that's what happened buckling down and working on my thesis even after the initial no. Just smaller things happened this year. I self-published my first novel. I mean, nobody's read it, but that matters less than I think it would have at the start of this year. Because I've learned so much more that a lot of what I'm doing is for my own personal growth as well. And if somebody likes it and somebody connects to it, then all the better for it. Which is also why I started my blog back in August. And every now and then, there has been somebody to comment on it, just on one of my posts, that has had a connection to it. And that's nice. And I don't feel like I'm sort of out of nowhere, just floating, because I connect to random people on my walking tours, and I connect to my coworkers in the store. And I haven't felt that in a really long time. Like, last year was really, really hard. Precisely because I was in a situation, for a lot of it, that wasn't nice. Like, when I was doing my classroom work, that should have been a safe space for me. That should have been a place I was really enjoying myself, because I do enjoy going to class. If I could just be a student for the rest of my life, I would be. But my master's classroom year wasn't fun, because I wasn't making those connections. I was on my own. I was that person who literally went to class, went to supper, went back to their room, and just watched YouTube. I don't feel like that person anymore. I'm not saying I'm going out every Friday night. Like, I'm still an introvert. But I don't feel like I don't want to go to work in the mornings. Like, I like my coworkers, and I'm like, yeah. Like, I can't wait to see my coworkers. I actually went to parties with my coworkers this year. The first one, I was still in that awkward stage where I wasn't getting connections, but as the summer went on, the karaoke party was fun. It was fun, because we all just let loose, and it didn't matter if you sucked at singing. We were all there to have fun. And this Christmas party that I went to was a smaller group. It was just the store ladies, and that was fun. It's nice to have fun again. I mean, I still miss what we had back in Freddy's so badly, to the point where I commissioned an art piece. Because one of my coworkers and one of my friends from work is an artist, and I asked him to paint this portrait of you and me and Caroline going to grad dinner. And that's another important part of me this year. I'm growing, but I'm also holding on to the important parts of my BA time. Like, one of the best times this year was at the end of October, when I came out to visit you, and we were able to just walk around downtown taking videos and photos and just not caring about anything else. And it was kind of like there hadn't been any time in between when we had seen each other last, despite the fact that there had been close to a year. Because our friendship's like that. We just kind of pick up where we left off. And I recognize a lot of what I'm trying to do right now is to make things easier for that relationship. The big reason I want to be able to drive is so that I can drive out to visit you, and we can drive into town, and I can actually get groceries without feeling like I have to figure out what the weight is so I can carry it home. Yeah, I'll fully admit I miss having the grocery store right next to the apartment. I miss living on my own, too. But I think the move has been good for me from where I was. And I look back on that final year in Freddy and living in the apartment, and some things were really good, but some things still weren't good. The fact is, I've got more than 2 people that I talk to on a regular basis now. And that has been a massive change since 4th year. That has been 2 years in between where I've barely socialized. And that's changing. I'm sure part of that's social media, but that's a better connection than I've had with some people recently, is being able to share photos. And part of that's work. And part of that is me just growing up and recognizing sometimes you just need to suck it up and socialize. And not be afraid of what will they think of me. And I mean, I still have my anxiety and my depression and my cat meowing at the door because she doesn't like me talking to the camera, but I can't open the door because my parents are home right now and I don't want to disturb them because I forgot I was supposed to do this video. Yeah, I haven't gotten that part down pat either. I'll show this more to you in the first Friday video that's not a direct vlog in the new year. But I'm starting a bullet journal to try and help my organization better. And I think I'm also going to start a journal. Because the interesting thing I found with my blog is that writing things out, I was suddenly a lot more self-aware. But with a blog, you still kind of want to pick and choose because there are going to be other people reading. There's always a possibility somebody else is going to read. So I think there's some things I want to work through with myself that might be better done in a journal. And maybe I also just want to complain about my tooth pain, because that's been happening. But I'm also really proud of myself because, again, I've grown up enough in this past year that I've learned I have to address it. I have had 2 root canals in the past year and an allergic reaction to antibiotics. I have literally learned how to swallow pills. Not big pills, but I've learned to swallow pills, which is better than I was ever doing up to this point. And I've learned to talk with healthcare professionals and my dentists and just suck it up because the problem isn't going to go away if I don't address it. And that's new to me because I have just been such an anxious child that talking to the dentist or even the idea of like going to the dentist scared me. But I'm learning I need to take better care of myself. I'm trying to take better care of myself. Trying to take better care of my teeth. I probably will try and take care better of what I'm eating, but it is the holiday season and there is just so much chocolate. I mean, literally, I've got some fuzzy peaches left from my stocking. I've got a Toblerone in the fridge that I wish I hadn't just thought about. And I think out of your stuff, I got the Nerds. I think that's all that's left. But this is not a planned video for next year. This is a reflection on this past year. Seriously, Cat. Look who I brought. Say hi, Tibbs. Hi, Tibbs. Yeah, so some things didn't work out this past year. But I think some things worked out better than I thought they were going to be, including dealing with my anxieties and depression. So I gotta figure out how 2019, I won't say how it's gonna go, how I'm gonna try and deal with it to start. But until then, have a happy new year. Alright, Tiggs? And I hope 2019 goes well. Talk to you later, H.